On the U.S. economy, I think it's fair to say that when oil spikes, we should listen. The last 5 recessions were preceded by oil spikes. And I think it is key. It's really interesting, actually, that this is a reminder of why having global coordination matters, right? So when we have a trade wars and now currency wars, and then this happens, the tables have turned, and now China cares more about this than the U.S. So I think this will be really interesting to see how it plays out when it comes to negotiations. This is more leverage for the U.S. than to China, and is that stark reminder we should probably work on certain things together because this affects everybody. That's
a fascinating point. How do you think it'll affect the trade dispute between U.S. and China right now, if at all?
Let's put it this way. I think it helps the U.S. hand, and it hurts it. You know, China was already struggling with dealing with the trade wars, right? Exports matter more to them. Oil matters more to them than the U.S. now. So I think it definitely places a little bit more leverage on the U.S. And on the Fed, I think this definitely gives them a little bit more cover if they are going to lower interest rates, because now they could point to another geopolitical environment, another wrinkle to the geopolitical environment.
Although, ironically, Bryce, this is giving them some inflation, which they seem to want, and maybe in a short-lived way. How do you expect this to impact the Fed's decision this week?
Well, the backup in rates, this was tied to the strong CPI number and some signs of inflation, all the good economic data that came out at least better than people had expected. And while I still think the Fed is clearly going to cut rates, I don't think they'll be as dovish as the stock market wants them to be. They won't say that all of the trade tensions and now this further risk with oil is enough to justify that we're going to just keep cutting rates at every single meeting. I think the stock market's going to be disappointed by that. And in fact, any good economic news that comes out after Wednesday, the stock market will feel is actually bad news because it will take the pressure off the Fed to cut rates. So the domestic economy is great. The rest of the world's kind of a mess. And the Fed's trying to walk this tightrope. And I don't think they can keep everyone happy.
And I note here that you also think, Bryce, that this attack on the Saudi oil facilities will kill the prospects of their Aramco IPO. Is that right?
Right. I mean, that's just another, that's a salt in the wound, right? Here oil is their crown jewel of what they have, and 50% of the production is knocked out. I mean, they need to make a very big response, a strong response. This is a regime that jails people that say things they don't like of their own citizens. What are they going to do to someone who took out half their production and basically killed the Aramco IPO? I mean, it's a real poke in the eye, to say the least. So I think the retaliation that they need to do in order to make a statement so that this doesn't happen again is going to be bigger than what people are thinking.